morning. We're live. We have Dave and Aaron, and we're talking zero trust. And I wanted to use the line from a movie, trust no one. So make sure you get on our weekly newsletter for tips. This actually was one of the tips in our newsletter this week. It was only one of 3 though. So yeah, weekly tips, you got it. So we're going to talk about 2 kinds of trust. The zero trust policy that you should have on your business network if you're a business owner. And we're going to talk about trusting other networks when you're out and about personally with your personal devices. So there's a lot of risk out there, right? So that's why we're talking about this. And that's why we're saying don't trust anyone or any device on your network. So what exactly is a zero trust policy in your business? What is that?
It's and I'll put this out there, and no shame here. It's kind of difficult to for us to explain. It's fairly deep. If you have to know a lot more about networks, I believe, than the 3 of us know. But it basically means nobody gets a free pass into your network just because they say who they say they are, and you need to be authenticated, username, password, and a multi-factor authentication, single sign-on, whatever it might be, again, to prove who you are before you have access to any network.
Right.
Anything on your network.
Yes.
Right.
So I remember, because I've been here so long, I remember when we started implementing this kind of stuff, because when I first started working here, you had access to everything. You'd log into the network and you'd see all the drives. You were everybody was an administrator, right? I mean, because we could install anything on our computers and bring any device and plug it into our computers. But nowadays, that's a scary, scary thing to allow that kind of access to your network.
Right.
So
Scary thing,
from a network point of view, when I walk into my credit union and my phone picks up the guest Wi-Fi, would that would be a very risky, high, or I should say low trust environment, but the credit union would purposely set it up that way for the free usage. Anything they would what I'm saying is they would probably have quite a bit of restrictions on that public guest Wi-Fi access,
Right.
and not
Yes,
overlap into their main.
It's completely segmented off.
Yep.
exactly. And that is, Dave, that's part of the structure of a zero trust policy is segmenting your network.
And then like you were talking about, Jenny, is the network resources years ago, and maybe still true. If you got on the network, you had access to everything, and you had to remove permissions. From the new hire intern didn't have access to human resources and payroll and whatever. So it's kind of the opposite of that, where nobody has rights to anything without proving who they are.
Without proving who they are, and then they're only given access to stuff they need for their job to get done. It protects you in so many different ways. Number one, nobody can get access to your network unless they have the identification to prove who they are, the multi-factor authentication, all that kind of stuff to get in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on another front, if I clicked something in my email, that hacker would only have access to what I had access to, right? If my device was compromised.
Depending on what you clicked on. I mean, there can be a lot of different things there.
Yeah. It usually gets caught by what we wanted to talk about today, by our SOC. Our SOC catches all that kind of stuff before it happens anyway, usually.
As it's happening.
As it's happening, which is
Yes.
very cool. And I really wanted to talk about this week, but all of our techs are busy with a big job today. So anyway, let's flip over. I think we got the general idea. A zero trust policy is basically, locking down your network and making sure that everyone has proper access to what they need and they have all the authentication security measures in place, right?
And no access to anything else.
Exactly. So I can't even plug this in, right, without it being somehow let on our network. I simply can't. So I don't know what it is that I would have to do if I really needed it, but I don't, because everything I need is on the drives. So if you need help with that, with your business, get in touch with us. But let's flip over to the personal side. Like, I'm traveling around and we still trust no one. Right? Trust no one. Really? Trust no one. So I'm traveling around and I log into the hotel's Wi-Fi. And I think this would kind of cue into your little story, Aaron, about the evil twin.
Right.
How do you even know, by the way? How do you know?
You don't really until it's too late. So during our pre-discussion, we were talking about different ways some of these hackers do prey upon vulnerable networks, and the control that businesses have to exert on these can only go so far. And what some hackers have come to realize is that they can clone Wi-Fi hotspots and steal traffic. So the idea of an evil twin or a hotel that has a public Wi-Fi that can be cloned by a bad agent who then can take on all that traffic to then do what they need to do, hack, scam, compromise information, all that good stuff. So as Ginny said when she opened, there's a lot of risk. There's a lot of risk with a lot of this stuff, and it's really being knowledgeable about it all, and then putting some best practices in place to really minimize that risk for your staff and for your clients too. So sign up for our newsletter.
Also, I talked to Dave a little bit about this, but I have a VPN service on my devices. My kids have it too. I mean, because I'm allowed 5 logins on my family plan. And what that does, a VPN service, Dave explained to me, is like creates a tunnel for your data to go into. So another thing that hackers do, right, Aaron, is they grab data that's flowing, like the traffic that's flowing over the internet, they'll grab it. But if you have that VPN, your data is inside that tunnel.
Yeah, they'll sniff for anything and everything they can find. What we like to do, especially on the voice side or the camera side, is to VPN or segment off a lot of that traffic. An example would be is if the environment is unsecure and they do have, say, surveillance cameras, a bad agent could get into that network and compromise those cameers. So anything visually those cameras display, that bad agent can be watching as well. So VPNing is a safe way, a secure way of taking that network, that bandwidth on your network and tunneling it someplace else. And we would recommend that.
Keeping it out of sight, basically.
It's another layer of security.
Yeah. There's many layers of security.
You can't have too many.
No, you can't. Because they find ways in, don't they? Cool. All right. Well, that pretty much covers what I wanted to cover today, which was just, again, I'll say it one more time, just because it's fun. Trust no one. So just don't trust, right? So get your security measures in place, especially at your business and your home. In your home. Yeah. 'Cause-
Yeah, you can like you have set up on your phone, you can set up a VPN for your home PC if you're just a home user. They advertise. I've seen certainly one in the last couple weeks advertising home VPN setup. So, you know, check it out.
Check it out. Yep. Make sure you have multi-factor authentication on everything. I just did get a message from a friend saying, well, my Facebook was hacked, and I'm like, did you have two-factor authentication on? Because you
Strong
have to.
passwords.
Yeah, even on social media, everywhere.
I'll tell you, nothing's more scary when you do have multi-factor authentication. And I've had this happen twice in my life now, I'd say in the last 5 years. Is I've got multi-factor on quite a few of my work stuff, personal stuff. And what that is if I go to log into something, I either get a push notification, something sends me a note saying,
Here's
hey,
your
is this
code.
you? Or here's the code to
yes.
put in.
Yep.
Nothing's scarier than getting a push notification when you did not log into something.
Yes, I've had that happen to me.
Literally.
Yes. And I'm like, no, that's not me.
Yeah, exactly. No
Right?
idea what's going on, but don't let that happen.
Let them in because that's not me.
Yep.
So on the other hand, that made me feel good that it
Did it
let
tell
me
you-
know.
Did it tell you the location of the
did.
origination of the push?
On mine it did.
I didn't get it, no.
You didn't?
No.
Okay. On mine it did. It was someplace way far away in the middle of, I don't know, Africa or something.
Scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? That's not me. So yeah. Awesome. Stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Get our weekly newsletter because we do share security tips and
Trust
we share
no one.
trust no one. See, I wanted to say it again. All right. Make it a great day. I do want to talk about SOC when we can get a technician on here to talk more intelligently about it.
We honestly kind of had to wing this at the last minute. So
yeah. My topic didn't work out. That's okay. I always have a list of topics that we can talk about because we can talk about security forever.
we'll get a super tech next week.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Make it a great day. Thank you guys. I appreciate your input and help.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.